You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money! Welcome into the 32nd episode of the Show Me the Money podcast, brought to you by Tavern Sports. As you can see on your screen, kind of an empty barn today. I'm riding solo. A couple of the guys are headed out to Vegas for the Sweet 16 this weekend, and a couple other guys are just, busy with work and life and stuff. So you get me for however long I'm here. Let's get into it. We'll start with reviewing our locks. Yours truly, I hit UNC -3.5, and we needed every single point scored in that game because they covered by 4. Tyler, I'm 9-4. Tyler's now 7-4-1 after hitting on Marquette -3.5. Again, a 4-point finish. So we needed every point there. Clark's up to 5-6-2 with Washington State under 61.5. I believe they scored 58-60 somewhere in there. So we needed all the help we got there as well. Parker hitting Oakland +6.5. They lost by 6, needed every point there too. So, we don't call them locks for nothing. We don't promise them not being sweats, but we promise that they will hit. Unless you're Cole, because Cole doesn't hit shit. He's 3-8-1 after losing the Iowa women's -37.5. They won, but didn't cover that number. Let's get into the Sweet 16 now. Tournaments kind of chalks are us, everyone. It's a bunch of 1s and 2s and 3s, 4s, a couple of 5s and 6s, your highest seeds in 11. And let's get into Clemson and Arizona. Just kind of looking at some of their scoring totals. Clearly Arizona's the better team here. Allowing an extra point on defense, but you can do that when you're scoring an extra 10 points on offense compared to your opponent. The line at 7.5 here. I think I'm gonna go with Arizona minus the 7.5. I will not touch the total of 152.5. Just not really too sure. I'm pretty sure I'm missing most of these ones that I've been taking anyway. When I'm telling you all to go over, I'm pretty sure they're going under. When I'm telling you all to go under, I'm pretty sure they're going over. So maybe just fade me when it comes to some of these totals. Let's get into the second game for Thursday. Number 5, San Diego State versus the number 1 UConn Huskies. UConn's favored by 10.5, over under 135.5. When you look at UConn, they're just the best team in the country. Arguably, but I don't think it's very, very close. They score more than anybody. They hold opponents to fewer points than anybody else. I like UConn here. 10.5 feels like a lot, but they've covered both the large numbers they've had already. This is a rematch from last year's Final Four, but the teams are very different. Give me UConn until they show that they can't cover these larger numbers against these good teams. I'll ride with them. And UConn's been an under team through the tournament, and San Diego State plays pretty tight defense, so we'll take the under 135.5 here. Again, probably fade that, go over. Let's get into number 4 Alabama versus number 1 UNC. UNC -3.5 here, total 173.5. Initial gut reaction, I like the over here again. Alabama just doesn't play defense, and they're highly effective on offense. They went under, Alabama did, with Grand Canyon, who's also an up-tempo team, in the round of 32, which is a little concerning, but when you figure Grand Canyon's numbers are based off a lower powered conference, maybe that makes a little more sense. And UNC's just been putting it down on folks through the tournament. So I think UNC and UConn, if they weren't on the same side of the bracket, they'd be on a craft course in the finals, which means I'm going to put them in the Final Four together at this point. So I don't see UNC losing here. Give me UNC minus the 3.5 once again. There's a chance Bama can come out, punch him in the mouth. Just look out for that. But I think Baycott with his 20 years of experience will get it figured out. Let's get to the final game for Thursday. Number 3 Illinois versus number 2 Iowa State. A little border war here. State's favored by 1.5, so we're getting a pick 'em here in the Sweet 16. Where Illinois shines on offense, they lack a little bit on defense. Where Iowa State shines on offense, shines on defense. Rather, their offense isn't as good as their defense. I mean, it's still very good. It's still top 100 in the country, and just pure values. And when you look at adjusted, they're top 50 in the country. So, I mean, this is good on good. Classic Big 12, Big 10 rivalry. I think State gets it just because Illinois has played 2 solid games in a row, and everyone knows Illinois is liable to lose whenever they kind of feel like losing. Like, they win when they want to, they would lose when they don't really care. You'd like to think they continue to care here, but Iowa State seems like a very good squad this year, as much as everyone here minus Clark likes to rag on them. So give me State here in the pick 'em. And let's take the under on this one. I just got a funky feeling this is going to be like a 68-72 kind of game. I don't think you get to that 145.5 number on this one. Let's get into the Friday slate. Friday starts off with the lowest seed in the tournament, number 11, NC State, playing against number 2, Marquette. Marquette's favored by 6.5 here. Total 150.5. And we haven't taken a dog yet, or I haven't, I guess. I'm the only one picking right now, but I think we're going to take this Wolfpack as one of our dogs here this week. They've just been playing really good ball for the last 2 weeks now. Everyone kind of expected them to run out of steam in the first or second round. They didn't. They get another 4-day break, I believe it is, they're going to be coming off of. 6-day break. 5-day break, whatever. They're gonna get another 5-day break here, so a little bit normal of a break for college basketball, playing against Marquette. Worth noting that the Big East only brought 3 teams to this tournament, but they still have all 3. I mean, that's more bubble action. But I am going to take this Wolfpack plus the 6.5. Look to keep it close. This might be where their run comes to an end. Maybe not. It'd be fun to see them keep going. I don't think I'll be touching. I don't know if I'll probably take the over here. Both these teams have been scoring a lot and allowing a lot of points through the first 2 rounds of the tournament. So yeah, let's take the over, and let's take NC State plus 6.5 here. Let's get into number 5 Gonzaga versus number 1 Purdue. Purdue's favored by 5.5, total 154.5. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm not a big Zach Edey fan. I'm not a big Purdue fan, just being a Big Ten fan in general. Most of us don't like Purdue. But you got to give Edey his flowers. He's come on very well in this tournament. He's looked good. Does the same old Zach Edey rear his ugly head here? Maybe, but he's also played Gonzaga twice in his career, once earlier this season, actually. He's taken both games in pretty convincing fashion, both times he's played this team, including earlier this year in a 73-63 win. So that says it was in Gonzaga. It may have been a preseason tournament. I'm not quite sure. So we're going to take Purdue minus the 5.5. And over the last 2 seasons, when these teams play, they go under the 154.5 number. Both games, one was 154, one was 153. So we'll stick with the trend. We'll go under, and we will take Zach Edey, as much as it pains me to move on here. Let's tie into this Duke versus Houston game. Houston favored by 4.5, total 133.5. Houston, when they play teams like Duke, they They have the tendency to struggle. They don't always struggle, but they, like they got smacked by Iowa State a few weeks ago. They lost to some other high profile teams throughout the season, and Duke's one of those high profile teams. They're a good team, good roster all the way around. Little bit of bias of my disdain for Houston. I just don't believe in that program or their defensive mindset. So I'm going to take Duke plus 4.5. And if Duke wins this game, it's going over the 133.5. Okay, final game for the Sweet 16 here, everyone. We have the Creighton Blue Jays playing Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 2.5, total 143.5. And I mean, Tennessee, they're flashy on defense. They have a really good defense and a really good offense. I mean, we're at the point of the season where we just have good teams left. So, but Marquette, they're a much more balanced team. So if their defense slips a little bit, I think their offense can pick them up better than if Tennessee was to slip on defense. I think their offense could sputter. I'm not saying it will, but I think it could. So let's take another dog here. Let's take Creighton plus 2.5. Yeah, it just feels like a Big East year, guys. I don't know. It just feels like the Big East showed up to play some ball this year. So Creighton plus 2.5. I'm not going to touch the total here.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
All right, now that we're done with March Madness, let's talk a little NFL. We had some schedule news come out. The win totals are out, so let's talk a little bit of that. I think almost most importantly, the NFL announced that they will be playing 2 games on Christmas Day this year, which it's not unheard of for the NFL to play games on Christmas Day, but only on designated NFL days, whereas Christmas this year is falling on a Wednesday. So I think the NFL is officially trying to stake their claim to Christmas Day, whereas the NBA traditionally had been playing games on Christmas Day. But I think the NFL is done with that. I think the NFL is ready to take Christmas Day. I think we will have Christmas Day games going forward. They haven't announced anyone who's playing in those games, just that they will be happening. One game that they have given us some information on is the Eagles will be the home team for the first NFL game to be played in Brazil. They're calling this the season opener, but it's taking place on a Friday. Traditionally, the season opener's on a Thursday, so I would assume there will be a Thursday game and then a Friday game. We don't know for sure, but that's my assumption. They haven't listed who the Eagles will be playing in that game either. Just that the Eagles will be the designated home team for that game. Final little piece of NFL schedule news: the Bears and the Texans will be playing in the Hall of Fame game. Kind of a good thing for both teams, really. I think they're both going to get a extra week of training camp. They're both going to get a 4th preseason game now. They both are going to have young quarterbacks, younger teams. I think this is a net positive for both teams. Speaking of the Bears and the Texans, let's talk some win totals. The Bears total is set at over under 8.5. This feels quite low to me. Yes, we are going to be bringing in a rookie quarterback, first-time offensive coordinator, not first-time play caller. Important to note. Teams typically see a slight regression when they bring in a rookie signal caller. And the Bears finished 7-10, so you kind of use that logic. You'd say regression. Okay, you want to hammer this under. I think, in fact, you want to hammer this over. The Bears were one of the best teams down the stretch at the end of the year last year. I think going 5-2 in their last 7, if I remember correctly. They had the best defense in the league the last 6 weeks of the regular season. This team's on the up and up. They've brought in more weapons than Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift. and we're going to get a franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams or whoever they decide to draft, but I think it'll be Caleb. I love this over here. Another over I love are the Texans at 9.5. They won 10 last year, so the books are kind of expecting the same thing, maybe hoping to catch a lot of people not expecting a sophomore slump out of CJ. But they've done a lot to help him. They've brought in weapons. They've re-signed weapons. I don't know. This one could be close, but I do like the over for it personally. Another over I like is Miami. Miami had some injury issues last year and still managed to win 11 games. Their total set at 9.5. So love the over there. Really, I'm going to give you guys two more, but I like the overs for all of them. The next over I'm going to give you is Pittsburgh over 7.5. They won 10 last year with an awful team. I mean, and they're worse. They are worse, but they have a real quarterback for the first time in a couple years. And at the end of the day, Mike Tomlin's never gone below 500. This would say not only he goes below 500, but he goes 2 games below 500. Just take the proven coach with 2 starting caliber quarterbacks on his teams to figure it out. I mean, they're weapon light. Maybe they'll go and draft. They probably will go and draft a weapon. So that's another over I like. And then Tampa, there was a lot of talk that Tampa was gonna kind of disintegrate after this year, kind of get rid of everyone, but they brought everybody back. Baker's back, Mike's back, Chris is back, everyone's back. They won 9 last year. Their total 7.5 this year. Take that over. I think that team, the only thing that team can do is go up. Yes, they lost a little help on defense. Their defense is going to be worse. They lost a veteran center on the offensive line. I don't think that's going to lose you 2 extra games when you have your best weapons back and your quarterback's going to have his second year in the system. So that's 5 win total overs I like. I wish the guys were here to talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about it more next week. But those overs are Chicago over 8.5, Houston over 9.5, Miami over 9.5, Pittsburgh over 7.5, and Tampa over 7.5. Let's talk MLB opening day. Today, the day y'all are listening to this on Thursday, is in fact MLB opening day. Sure, we had a couple of those weird games over there in South Korea, but everybody starts their regular season today. The Reds will be at home, as always. Everyone knows that. But speaking of the Reds at home, let's talk a little bit of home team betting lines. Home teams that are minus 120 or better odds, so 120, 130, 140, so on and so forth, are 117 and 51 on the money line since 2005. So look for maybe 2 or 3 of those ball clubs that you like a lot, parlay them up and get yourself, I don't know, plus 300 or so odds. Get yourself a nice little win on the first day of this baseball season. And if you're an AL fan, or if you're just a fan of winning money, take that and look at the AL home favorites. AL home favorites are 40-9 since 2004. So you parlay both those 2 stats, find yourself AL home favorites that you like that are minus 120 or better. I bet you get yourself a pretty nice looking win. One AL team that I would not look at to win their opening game tomorrow, though, is Cleveland. Cleveland is 8-17 the last 25 years on opening day. So I don't know if they're home. I don't know if they're away. Don't take them to win. They're probably not going to. Honestly, if they're away and playing playing another American League team, probably put like 8 or 9 units on that team to win, because I bet you they figure it the fuck out. Let's make sure we're getting our hammers out for the Dodgers today. Dodgers are facing the Cardinals. Cardinals have Miles Mikolas as their opening day starter. I don't get it. I mean, I haven't looked at our pitching rotation. Maybe he's our best pitcher, but he is god awful on opening day. Opening day, he spots a 10.8 ERA with 15 hits and only 8 1/3 innings over his career. Now, I don't know if that's 2 starts, 3 starts. I bet you it's probably 3 or 4 starts with how shitty those numbers are. So, I mean, the Dodgers are going to be a wagon all year. The Cardinals are probably going to be the exact opposite of a wagon all year. So let's get those hammers and go against my Cardinals and get those Dodgers a win. One bet we do love betting here at Show Me the Money is the Nerfy, the no run first inning. It's never a guaranteed bet, but it's definitely a fun bet. It's an easy bet to sweat because as soon as the first innings are over, you get to go to the window and you get to cash it out. So myself and the other analysts around here, we came together and picked up a little no run first inning parlay for y'all. We're going to do the Twins and the Royals parlayed with the Pirates Marlins game. And the final leg of that parlay is going to be the Guardians A's in the good old sanitarium fight down there. Again, I don't know who's home, who's away in that one, but if you could score negative points in a baseball game, I'm sure those two squads would find a way to do it. That parlay gives you plus 369. So a little bit of a nice little funny sex number there for you too. Sorry guys, it's going to be a little short one. You know, I mean, that's how it's going to go when you got one person and no one to talk ball with, talk shop with. So you're just getting my opinions. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I don't know. But after this ad read, we're going to figure out everyone's locks, and then we're going to get you out of here nice and quick.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
All right, let's get into the final segment, everyone's favorite segment here, locks of the week. Of course, again, I'm riding solo here, but I did get some of the guys to give me their locks before they got onto the planes to head out to Vegas for the weekend. So let's do theirs first. Tyler likes Arizona minus 7.5 over Clemson. Good luck, Ty. That's a lot of points, but I picked with you, so let's keep it going. Clark likes San Diego State under 62.5 against UConn. He had good luck with it last week. Hopefully he finds another one this week. It's kind of a weird line, but Clark finds these weird lines and finds ways to hit them. So Godspeed, Clark.
And live from Denver, Colorado, this is Cole checking in. Hold on.
There's an announcement on the fucking plane.
Our lock. We're going to go with the UNC first half spread -2 all day.
Cole, thanks for finding a way to get in here at the end, man. It was a fucking rough ride going solo.
Dude, I literally just landed like 5 minutes ago.
Cole, all I can say is I'm probably going to take the other side because fuck, you are a fade machine, man. 3-8-1, that is god awful. So who they got? UNC has Alabama. Give me Alabama +2 first half, baby. Let's go. Let's write it. But that's not my lock. My lock is going to be the Purdue Boilermakers -5.5 against Gonzaga. I'm sure Zachy will find a way to fuck me here. For some reason, Gonzaga keeps winning when I don't think they should. But you know, lifetime on this show, my locks are hit at 70%. So if I lose this one, I don't know what to tell you. You got unlucky because I win a lot more than I fucking lose. We did not get Parker to chime in. I think he might be sleeping right now before he goes to work. That's okay, Parker. Sleep tight. Have a nice little dream session. And maybe dream about walking up to that window after you win some of these bets. And don't forget to show me the money.
Show me